see her lying back in her satin dress in a room where you do what you don't confess. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs. Sundown, you better take care if I find you've been creeping round my back stairs.
Happy Homebrew Wednesday. It's not really a happy Homebrew Wednesday today. Start with Breaker's Roar. This is it's a collaboration brew between Fairwinds Brewery. I know Larry's been there with me. I think Josh has been there before when he came down to visit. They did a collaboration brew, a double India Pale Ale with Ocelot, and it's all right. I'm not like the biggest fan of it, but today is definitely a double IPA kind of guy or kind of day. Back to the kind of day. This year is just, it's weird. It's not really, to be honest, it hasn't really started off that great. It's my dog died last month, and my wife got some news about stuff going on in her family, and which is kind of sad, and got some really heartbreaking news yesterday with someone in our BrewTube community, and it's just it's kind of stunk so far, to be honest. I'm hoping it turns around and it picks back up, but yeah, I don't know. So let's try to make this Homebrew Wednesday to, I don't know, kind of lift it up a little bit, I guess. Man, sorry to start off so morose, but it's been kind of a rough one, to be honest. So this double IPA, I don't know. It's got like a fusel kind of quality to it. Doesn't have a great head. It's just kind of there. I'm not a big fan. Oh well. All right, let's get off this topic and get to brewing. So, on a positive note, brewed what I'm calling Resilient Leprechaun this past weekend. I think it was this past weekend. Thing is already like burned through. I think I brewed it on Saturday or Sunday. Can't remember which day it was. But it's already chugged right. The yeast is already chugged right through the sugar, and I think it's done. I need to go check the gravity on it, but probably let it go till next weekend, because I'm just kind of one of those guys. I don't want to mess it up before it's finished. But it was an awesome brew day. It was Irish red. I call it Resilient Leprechaun because the Leprechaun series I've done in the past, I did an Imperial Irish Red. I called it Remorseful Leprechaun because you're remorseful the second day after all the ABV you consumed. Nefarious Leprechaun, I think, was last year because I changed up on the ingredients a little bit. And so this year it's Resilient Leprechaun because it's a low ABV, probably around 5.5%. So you'll be resilient the next day after drinking it. So color was really beautiful. I tried some chocolate rind malt, which did some really cool things with the color. I did some reading on it, and it was highly recommended. So it looked great, and it smelled great, and it looked great with the color. So hit my numbers perfectly. I was 1043 on the estimated and actual post mash gravity, and then I was looking for 1056, I want to say, and I hit 1054. I was like 2 points off, or maybe it was 1050. I was looking for 1054 and I hit 1052, one of the two. But I mean, I'll take that any day, and that's with also topping up like a gallon of water, gallon and a quarter of water, because when I brew something that's less than 6%, I can never sparge the entire 7 1/4 volume that I need in my boil kettle to get enough into the fermentation bucket, because I have a little bit that's just left behind in my system. That's just the way it works. So I have to collect 7 1/4, then I'll know I'll get about 6.5 gallons in the firm bucket, and I'll have plenty for a 5-gallon batch. So to get the 7 1/4, I had to top up. I was able to collect about 5 gallons before I started going way below 1010, and on the flight barge, so that I topped it off. But still, the numbers came out perfectly, so I probably got better. It says I got 85% efficiency, and that's including the top-up water. Sorry about that. As I was saying, 85% efficiency. Got a phone call in the middle of this. Looks like I'll be running for office shortly. That'll be another video. Anyway, so I had good efficiency on the brew day. It was a fun brew day. It was very easy. Heather was gone on it wasn't a business trip. I kind of alluded to earlier that she's been having some kind of family things going on. Someone close to her's got some medical news, and so one of her cousins hurt her foot and needed some assistance. So Heather, being the wonderful woman that she is, volunteered to drive up to Connecticut and help out her cousin. So anyway, so the kids and I were rudderless from last Wednesday to Tuesday. We had no rudder. We were just kind of out drifting in the ocean, and thankfully we didn't burn down. The house didn't explode, and we actually maintained a clean dwelling. And I think Heather was pretty pleased when she came back. So anyway, like I said, good brew day. So I had good efficiency. Finished the brew. It looks like it's finished fermenting. I'm probably not. I don't know. It's Wednesday. I might go dip in the old baster and see where I am out on alcohol. It's going to be the prettiest red ale I've had. I'll cut away here and show up. So you should have saw some of the red ale. But anyway, stick around. Got a little bit of the brew day. Not a whole lot. Again, sorry to start off with such a downer note. It's just, man, 2020 is just kind of started off with a slap shot to the face. So anyway, hey, have yourself a happy homebrew, a very happy homebrew Wednesday. And Gary, you're in my thoughts, brother. Cheers. Hey, happy homebrew Wednesday. So this is kind of fun. I figured I'm taking a long drive to my homebrew store, so might as well talk a little bit about what I've got planned for the brew. So this is the time of year when I generally do, first of all, Yeast Experiment 2020, I shipped off my IPAs to Gary, main brew guy Gary, Tap Out Brewing, this morning. So he should get those on Thursday, the 27th. I got some killer labels. I'm very happy with the way the labels turned out. First of all, can I just say, it is a beautiful day here. It's like 51 degrees. It's sunny. Just took my daughter and her friend to their soccer practice. Did the Jeep wave there. That's something about driving a Jeep. I don't know if you've ever had a Jeep before, but other people wave at you. Other Jeep guys wave at you. I've never had a vehicle with this kind of friendliness. It's really bizarre. I like it. It's cool. But anyway, sorry about the sun there. Looks like you get a little bit of that sunniness I was talking about. So anyway, dropped them off at soccer practice and took the dog for a long walk. Maybe I'll throw. Oh, sorry about the steering wheel getting in the way. This is kind of an interesting view. Took the dog for a walk through some trails. Maybe I'll cut away and show some. Come on, don't stop woodpecking just because I'm pointing over here. There you go. Taking Reese for a little walk while the kids are while Lorelai's at soccer practice. I like this little area. Some neat trails through here. To that, I have to be, Reese is now, since Zach's passed, Reese is getting all of my attention, which is good. It's good for him. He sits around all day. No one's home. So when we get home, we try to take him out. I take him every time I go somewhere, I say, I was like, Reese, want to go in the Jeep? And he hears Jeep and perks up and he jumps in the Jeep. So I try to take him out as much as I can. But so anyway, so the yeast samples are off, or the yeast experiment's off. So anyway, what I'm going to brew today, this time of the year when I start thinking about my Leprechaun series. So I've done remorseful leprechaun. I've done nefarious leprechaun. For this one, and generally I do different versions of, I think I've done one that was about 7%. I've done some that are imperial strength. This one I'm going to do is going to be, wow, that wasn't cool. Man, good thing I wasn't staring at the camera. Yeah, some idiot decided there was a split coming, getting onto the freeway, and he decided at the last minute he wanted to jump in on the other side of the split and cause the car in front of me to slam on their brakes. But anyway, so normally I do imperial strengths. I think I've done one that was like 7%. This one I think is going to be around 6 or less. And I'm changing up the grain bill a little bit. I did some reading that some guy on one of the craft brewing websites that I frequent said that he had turned some beers in competitions, and the judges kind of dinged him on excessive roastiness until he went to chocolate rye malt. And I guess the way they kiln it, it gives you more of a milk chocolate flavor rather than a roasty flavor. So that sounded pretty damn good to me. So I'm gonna do that and see how it turns out. So anyway, yeah. So I think it's gonna be like a base of Maris Otter. I do want some kind of that crackery quality I get with Gold Pills Vienna. So I'm gonna put probably a couple pounds of Gold Pills Vienna in it. I'm going to use about 5% of the total grain bill. I'm going to go light and dark caramel. So I'm going to do, slight amount of caramel 120 and a slight amount of caramel 10. And then, like I said, I'll put about a little over 4 ounces of the chocolate rye malt. Hopefully they have it. My store's pretty good. They have a pretty good selection, so hopefully they have it. And then, of course, I always go WLP004 or whatever the Y yeast equivalent is. That's my kind of go-to for Irish ale on yeast. I like the kind of round, sweet flavor it gives. So, and I'm only going to put in enough Magnum just to kind of get it to about 24, 25 IBUs. So, like I said, I'm calling it Resilient Leprechaun. This is this year's series, and we'll see how it comes out. I'm planning on doing a party at my house probably next month for a lot of guys I work with, so this will be something nice to have on tap. And I might just bottle a few for some of you lucky viewers. So anyway, yeah, so I guess that's it. I guess I better I'm getting into neighborhood driving, so I guess I better go so I can focus on some of these morons that are driving. So anyway, have yourself a happy homebrew and a happy homebrew Wednesday. Cheers. It's always good when you know you get a beautiful crush. Love it. Okay, here goes Resilient Leprechaun. That's looking pretty red. What do you think? Happy Homebrew Wednesday. So, today's brew day, brewing a Irish Red. I'm calling it Resilient Leprechaun. I've done other Leprechaun series, Irish Reds. Generally I use about the same recipe. I changed up on this recipe this time because I did some reading and saw some good things about chocolate rye malt in terms of imparting that nice red color without the roastiness for darker malt. So figured I'd try it out. And I also I used about 4.8 ounces of chocolate rye malt, 7 pounds of Maris Otter, 5% of the grain was half-half mix between Crystal 120 and Crystal 10, light and dark crystal malts for sweetness. And then I also used 2 pounds of Gold Pills Vienna, and that kind of always gives this nice little crackery, graham crackery kind of quality. So all of that together sounds really good to me. Bittering is going to be nothing but Magnum, just a little bit of Magnum just to get it up to I forget how many IBUs it is, but and then the yeast is my old faithful WLP004 White Labs Irish Ale. I really like what that one does. So the color, if you can see this, is nice and red. Gary called it blood red. I'm really loving what the color looks like so far. I've got about 5 gallons, and I'm at 1030. So I should be able to get close to my final volume of 7 1/4 before I hit 1010 on the fly sparge. So anyway, I don't know, maybe I'll come back for a hot drop or something, but yeah, nothing really special about the brew day. Just it's that time. I want to have some Irish Red on tap, especially if I have a St. Patrick's Day party next month. So cheers. Here's the wort for the Irish Red. I think that's pretty red. What do you think? I think I got the right color. And I'm gonna get some Maillard reactions when I brew it too, because I have pretty hot element. Okay, so we did the first hot drop. It's going there. It's Magnum hops. I did 0.5, a little shy of 0.55 ounces at 60. That's the only hop drop I'm gonna do. That's gonna get me about 23 IBUs, which is what I want. The target pre-boil was 143, as you can see, or 1043. You can see I hit 1043. The target OG is 1054. We'll see what we get. So I had really good efficiency. Matter of fact, whenever I do a beer that's like less than 6%, I have to top off with water, because I know my system, and I have to have 7 1/4 gallons of fluid in the boil kettle for me to be able to get enough gallons into the fermenting bucket, so I have a 5-gallon batch. So because I'm shooting for like a little over 6 gallons into the bucket, then I lose, whatever. So anyway, I hit the efficiency I was targeting, and that's not discounting the fact that I topped off with a gallon of water, a little over a gallon of water actually, because I don't like sparging well below 1010. So my efficiency is really kicking ass. So it'll probably say it's about 82, but it's probably a little bit higher. But anyway, that's just the way, just the way it works on my system, I guess. So anyway, cheers. So I don't know if you guys do this on your brew days, but when I'm just kind of hanging around, I take hops and just smell them. Oh, hops just man, hops in your face just smell so damn good. It should be like an air freshener. I need to get a can, like Magnum hops air freshener for my bathroom. That would be great, wouldn't it? Oh man, I would do it too. Look at that Irish Red. That's beautiful. Very red.